Every time your CPU runs a program, something impossible happens. Instructions finish before they're supposed to. Not early by a little, early by design. And if that sounds wrong, that's because it is. When you write code, you expect one simple rule. Line 1 runs, then line 2, then line 3. That's the deal. But inside your CPU, that deal doesn't exist. Instead, your CPU looks at your program and immediately starts asking a different question. What can I finish right now? And that question changes everything. Because modern CPUs don't wait, they don't politely follow order, they don't respect your sequence, they break it. Let's say your program has 3 instructions, A, B, and C. Simple. But instruction B is waiting. Maybe it needs data from memory. Maybe it depends on something slow. So it stalls. Now here's the moment where everything changes. Instead of waiting, your CPU skips it and jumps ahead. Instruction C? It might already have everything it needs, so the CPU says, why wait? And just like that, C starts executing. Before B, out of order. And here's the part most people miss. C might even finish before B ever starts. So now you have a problem, a serious one, because if C finishes first, your program is now wrong, unless the CPU hides it. And that's exactly what it does. Deep inside the processor, there's a structure called the reorder buffer. It's not there to make things faster. It's there to fix the lie, because even though instructions execute out of order, they must appear to finish in order. Always, no exceptions. So how do you make something finish early, but look like it didn't? You delay reality. Every instruction, when it executes, doesn't immediately update the real state. Not the registers, not the visible results. It waits. The result is stored temporarily, hidden, and only when it reaches the correct position does it commit, as if nothing strange ever happened. So even if instruction C finishes first, it sits there, waiting, until B is done. Then, and only then, the CPU reveals the result. To you, everything looks perfectly ordered. But inside? Chaos. Now here's where it gets even stranger, because the CPU isn't just reordering execution, it's also predicting the future. You've seen this before. Branch prediction, speculative execution, but now combine that with finishing instructions early. The CPU is not just guessing what will happen, it's acting on it before it's true. Imagine executing instructions based on a future that hasn't been confirmed. That's not optimization, that's controlled risk. Because if the prediction is wrong, everything has to be undone. And this is where the illusion becomes fragile. If something goes wrong, the CPU rolls everything back, like it never happened. But think about what that means. Your CPU is constantly doing work that might be erased, finishing instructions that might never exist. And still, you never notice, because the system is designed to protect the illusion that your code runs in order, even when it doesn't. Now let's go deeper, because finishing early isn't just about speed, it's about utilization. A modern CPU has multiple execution units, arithmetic units, load store units, vector units, and leaving them idle is unacceptable. So the CPU searches ahead for anything it can run, independent instructions, unblocked operations, anything ready. And when it finds them, it executes them immediately, even if they belong to the future of your program. This is called instruction-level parallelism. But in practice, it feels like time travel, because the CPU is pulling work from ahead in time and completing it now, all while pretending it didn't. Now here's the dangerous part. This system only works because of one guarantee: precise state. At any moment, if something goes wrong, the CPU must be able to recover to a clean, correct point, as if instructions had executed perfectly in order. No corruption, no partial updates, no visible mistakes. That's the contract. And maintaining that contract while finishing instructions early is one of the hardest problems in CPU design. Because everything is happening out of order, in parallel, speculatively, and yet must look perfectly sequential. Now step back for a second. Your CPU is running ahead of your program, finishing work early, hiding results, waiting for the right moment to reveal them. It's not just executing instructions, it's managing time, reordering reality. And the reason you never notice is because it never breaks the illusion. Everything you see, every program you run, every line of code you trust depends on that illusion holding perfectly. Every time. Because the moment it doesn't, you wouldn't just see it, you'd feel it. And nothing would behave the way you expect.